Tonight, we're going to celebrate our first show in July with a look at the top 10 moments from last season. Not necessarily the top 10 plays, the top 10 moments. We'd like your input as well. So here is our viewer participation. So we're going to go 10 down to 1. And as we do that, we want as many of you as as long as you're not driving and all that stuff, to jump on here and tell us if we're off the mark or if we're spot on. And then when we get to 1, we have some bonus moments. Then we'll go from there and just see what happens.
Yeah, let's do this.
All right, so here are the top 10 moments from last season.
So we start with 10 then.
Yeah.
Okay. This is going to come on October 26th, and it's down in Orlando. At UCF.
Yeah.
Chase Roberts, 62-yard touchdown reception with 27 seconds left in the second quarter. The touchdown gave BYU 24-10 lead, and it felt like that touchdown changed the trajectory of the game, and the Cougars went on to win 37-24. Biggest play in that game and really, really changed the trajectory. So we're going to go number 10, the Chase Roberts 62-yard touchdown.
And it was like an out where he caught it and he turned around and ran 50 yards.
Yeah.
And that's where we saw his speed go, and it went. And so that's number 10, our top 10 moment. Ann is in on the stream from Boston tonight, and we hope you got your tickets to go see the Cougs play UConn at their home of the Celtics in basketball.
Somebody asked if you and I are going to be at East Carolina this year for that game. We're not.
No.
We'll be in studio. We'll be back in Studio B where we live during the fall when the team's on the road. Spencer will be back there on the sideline, and we'll be hosting from back in the studio.
All right, here's number 9. We're going to go November 30th against Houston. I think what could have happened against Houston, the lowly Red Cougars. And remember, we were watching the Kansas State game as well because we needed something bad to happen to Iowa State, right?
Yeah.
And BYU had to have something good happen against Houston, and Houston starts like gangbusters, and then this play happens.
Yeah, so Talon Alfrey, he returns an onside kick, 58 yards for a touchdown with 1:40 left in the first quarter. So that touchdown ties the game at 7, and then BYU, it's like BYU was almost in a little bit of a funk to start that game. He does that, and then they easily win 30-18. And you know my favorite part about that play is he redeemed himself because you remember in the Kansas game?
I think so.
Where he got hit by he did everything he could do to get out of the way on an onside kick, and it hit him in the leg, and it ended up in a turnover.
Yeah.
And
Baylor, one of those two.
I can't remember if it was Baylor. Somebody can remember this for us, but that was going through his head every game after that game, that if this ever happens again, I will make the play. Not only did he make the play and make the catch, but he returns it for a touchdown. That was a huge play. And I love the way the team rallied around him.
Sometimes when there's onside kicks, right, everyone's running to the ball, and if it bounces just right, and we haven't seen it a whole lot, if it bounces just right, the receiving team grabs it, and there's no one in front of him. Alfrey the ball hopped up to him, and he was gone.
Leon White had one of those back in the 1984 season.
Yeah.
Where he caught
it really bums out a team trying to get the onside.
That's so deflating. We're going to surprise them. We're going to onside it in the first quarter, and they're going to take a 58 to the house. Yeah,
that wasn't in the plan. Number 8, December 28th against Colorado in the Alamo Bowl. The 8th best moment of the season. And this was a two-parter, right? It was 2 really cool moments in the same play.
Yeah. Let's start with Isaiah Glasker intercepting that Shedeur Sanders pass with 9:40 to go in the fourth quarter.
Phenomenal catch.
Yeah, and then he does the Deion high step. Remember that?
Right in front of Deion.
Yeah, right in front of Deion in the Colorado bench. And the Cougs rout the Buffs 36-14.
That was so timely to do that dance in front of Deion.
Yep.
And we interviewed him after the game on game day, and he said he didn't know what else to do, so he did the Deion dance.
That.
But that looked like he practiced that.
It was good. It was good.
So that's number 8.
Number 8. How about number 7? September 21st versus number 13, Kansas State.
So Jack Kelly knocks the ball away from Kansas State running back DJ Giddens. Tommy Prassis picks it up and runs 30 yards for a touchdown. The 13th ranked Jayhawks, or Wildcats rather, saw their lead slip away with 1:17 to go in the second quarter. So BYU goes up 10-6 on this fumble return, And it was kind of like, it happened away from us because we were on our BYU TV platform. And there was like, hey, there's something, they're chasing something now. And then Prassis just shows up heading downfield right in front of the rock. And then they just all celebrated together. And fumble returns are fun.
Yeah, and it was such a big play because it was the start of what I would call the wheels falling off for Kansas State. And remember, it was just a bevy of plays back to back to back to back to end that quarter and start the second half where Kansas State was just is out of it.
Yeah.
Then they were flat from that point forward. That was kind of the start of the craziness. And they dominated from that point forward.
We're counting down the top 10 moments of 2024. Wise Guys is presented by Brady Plus, supplies plus support. See bradyplus.com.
And by Eddie, HR and payroll software built for small businesses. See how Eddie can serve your team at Eddie.com.
And by Mountain America Credit Union, empowering dreams for over 80 years. Learn more at MacU.com.
And Wise Guys is distributed by the Deseret News. Hey, you know what? I'm so glad that Parker just came into studio.
Yeah.
Because we haven't even gotten to his play yet.
Yeah, it's coming up.
So we've done 10, 9, 8, and 7. So we're on 6 right now, but we haven't gotten to Parker's play yet. So, and it isn't number 6 either.
No.
So number 6 is September 6th at SMU, a game where BYU was an underdog.
So Miles Davis on 4th and 1 gets a pitch from Jake and runs 37 yards. Play started at the 48 with 4:05 to go in the fourth quarter. He rumbles downfield and sets up Will Ferrin's 26-yard field goal to win the game 18-15. SMU played better the rest of the season, and we're knocking on the door of big things.
Playoff, yeah.
And to go into their stadium, and the defense held them to the lowest offensive output of the year for a team that had just been scoring left and right. But that Miles Davis, biggest play as a BYU Cougar, most meaningful one,
big
sets
one.
up that field goal.
And that was one of the, to me, BYU caught the national attention, especially BYU's defense, because the way they manhandled SMU's offense.
Yeah.
Nobody handled that offense the way BYU did last year. And so that BYU started to move up the polls after that. So let's go to number 5. Now, Parker's here in the house, so now we can talk about number 5. It's December 28th against Colorado. Of course, it's in San Antonio at the Alamo Bowl. Parker takes a 64-yard punt return for a touchdown in the Alamo Bowl second quarter. 5:32 at mark in the second quarter. Take a 17-0 lead. Did that not feel like it just completely broke Colorado at that point?
Yeah, pretty much did.
Yeah.
And as we were watching it in our studio, we thought, okay, this night's going to go BYU's way.
And if you were thinking, oh, wait a minute, that's not the Parker Kingston play I was thinking about, that's okay, because you can have 2 plays in the top 5. And that's just his first play.
It's like Parker Kingston night.
It is Parker Kingston
Here's number 4, November 9th up in Salt Lake City. Keelan Marion's 96-yard kickoff return against the Utes with 13:09 left in the second quarter gives BYU a 10-7 lead. An honorable mention to that one was his 100-yard kickoff return at Wyoming to open the second half and lead BYU to a 34-14 win in Laramie on September 14th. So we snuck in that extra one for Marion.
Yeah, maybe they're 4A and 4B.
4A, 4B.
Because they're both Keelan Marion.
Yeah. All right, number 3.
Number 3. Now we're going to get back to Parker again. September 21st against Kansas State. Parker returns the punt. We're going to say it was 140 yards. Because we measured it all the way across the field and all the way up the other sideline.
And we looked at it at every angle on AFR, and we did come out. It was about 140.
Officially, it was a 90-yard touchdown, but on AFR, we measured it out at 140 yards.
It's a lot of
11:09 remaining in the third quarter. It gives BYU a 31-6 lead. The Cougs scored 28 points over an 8-minute stretch to win 38-9, and Lassiter Stadium went nuts in this one. That was huge. And remember, we'll talk to Parker about this a little bit, but didn't catch it clean, went back and picked it up on the retreat, turned the corner.
Oh, yeah, we're going to get in his head.
And then it was just magic.
So he had to be thinking about a bunch of different things. Now he's had time to really think about thinking about it.
As our colleague Austin Colley would say, magic happened. Magic happened.
Let's see, who is this on the stream? Parker snatched glory from the clutches of disaster. Adam on that one.
Absolutely.
All right, Wise Guys rolling out our top 10 moments from 2024 live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and wiseguys.com. Number 2, October 18th against Oklahoma State. Darius Lassiter's 35-yard touchdown reception with 10 seconds left in the fourth quarter beat Oklahoma State 35-28. The stadium went into a frenzy. BYU goes to 7-0. Our honorable mention B play on that one was Jake's 27-yard run moments earlier to get the ball to the 35, and then they strike, and the place just goes bananas. Yeah, bananas.
It was nuts. That's a game that I know on the defensive side of the ball, they're like, we want to play that one again. They didn't feel like they played the way they could have, and it shouldn't have been close. But Darius makes a heroic play. Number one. We got to have November 9th at Utah, right?
Sure.
And we got to have Will Ferrin's 44-yard field goal with 3 seconds left to stun the Utes, 22-21, keep the Cougs undefeated at 9-0. Honorable mention, the holding call against Utah.
Sure. Right? That got in there.
On 4th and 10 at the 9-yard line with 1:29 left.
Here's the thing. If you don't want that penalty called, don't grab a guy's jersey.
Yeah. And an honorable mention in that game as well, Chase Roberts' fingertip catch for 30 yards to BYU 49 with 1:22 left, right? That was big time. So there's some big plays in that last drive, including the call, but it was the right call.
Yeah.
And the league actually reviewed it and said it was the right call.
Right.
By the way. And we had Will in here. You know what's so fun? We had Will and Sam, who's the punter but also is the holder, and their spouses here with us. And we asked each of them to describe that play. And the most nervous was Sam Vanderhaar's wife on that play. Not Sam, Sam's wife. The second most nervous was Will's wife. The third most nervous was Sam. And remember, Sam's wife was like, yeah, he's the holder. Nobody even knows who he is. This was when he might have a big moment. If he drops the thing, then everybody's going to know that he's the holder and not just the punter. And she was so nervous. And Sam was nervous. Will's wife was nervous. The only guy not nervous was Will.
And man, was that a kick. 44 yards, beats the Utes 22-21. That's our number one play of the year. But we also have some bonus plays, and we're going to bring in Parker. And let's let Parker decide if they deserve bonus play.
If these bonus ones, Parker, if we're going to ask you, and you put your headset on there, we're going to talk to Parker and see if he believes that maybe they should have made the top 10. All right. Now, he only came in time to hear the top 6.
Yeah. We'll get to your official introduction in a second. Let's just jump in.
Okay.
Bonus plays for our top moments of the season. The fake field goal at UCF, first quarter, 4th and 5. Sam Vanderhaar pitches the ball between his legs over to Will Ferrin. He runs for 8 yards, gets a first down. Drive ends with a field goal. Have you ever seen anything more miraculous?
No, it was awesome. I wish Will would have hit like a first down celly or something after he got it, but that was a great play.
Now, if that one would have resulted in a touch, it might have made the top. It might have made the top 5 if it was a touchdown. But because it didn't, how about this is you, Parker, that 33-yard touchdown pass to L.J. Martin, 6:30 left in the second quarter against Arizona. Cougs take a 14-7 lead, never trail again. Win going away 41-19. Should that have been in the top 10?
I mean, it was a good play, but I think the other 10 plays on there were definitely more memorable.
Okay.
Here's another bonus play, a bonus moment. JoJo Phillips, 57-yard touchdown catch against Southern Illinois in the first quarter. We anticipate a big season for JoJo, right?
Yeah. No, he's going to have a good year. He's going to have a big year.
And then this is a football moment that maybe transcends and goes over.
And we're going to ask you if you actually saw this happen.
If you knew that this happened. So A.J. DeBonsa runs out with the football team carrying the Y flag before the Arizona game.
Did you see him out there running with you?
He was the flag bearer.
Oh,
this is when he was getting recruited.
And here's why we don't see that, because we're pretty sure it was against the rules.
Sure it's not legal. But
so there's no video of that circulating. Yeah. But out he went. He said he had a great time. Yeah. And he said that trip is what won him over.
Yeah. He came to a football game in that environment, the way it is, and Arizona, just dominating. The place was off the hook, and it was so fun. And he's like, this is where I want to be.
Yeah.
So
that was a good game.
Our final bonus moment of the season, the in-stadium entertainment, David Almodovar and his crew, the fire dancers, the band, Cosmo, Cougarettes, the drones. It's awesome. Describe it. What's it like?
It's a feeling like any other, especially when we're winning. I mean, when you win and the third quarter break's coming or the fourth quarter break, whatever it is coming, it gets the stadium rocking, and that energy just leads into the fourth quarter and for us to take the dub.
I don't know, was it last year or the year before? I think it was the year before. So you were around the year before.
Oh, yeah.
When one of the teams decided they're going to do their huddle between third and fourth out kind of close to the fire dancers, and there was a little bit of an altercation out there, like the fire dancers backed down the other team. And we got thinking as those guys had come off, I don't know if you've been next to those guys. Would you mess with those guys?
No. I mean, they're throwing fire with their hands. Like, I'm not going.
They look like they could throw a car.
Yeah.
They just happen to be throwing fire.
I don't know what are these guys like. Don't get in those guys like. Don't poke the bear. You're gonna get knocked out, dude. And like they were. Some of their players were, and I can't remember which team it was, and I thought that's just not
the next
smart.
game, though, they had ushers out there to make sure
they kept them separated. So